The New York Conspiracy of 1741, when New York slaves joined together to revolt. They were underpaid and needed more work, so they plotted to burn down the town of New York. When New York was run by the British authority, who had beef with the Spanish and Catholic majority, they accounted for many of the slaves accused, so the British officials gave them a hard time. An influx of Irish immigrants and slaves made artisans compete for jobs. People without jobs began to steal because they lacked money to survive the winter. They traded these stolen items in Houston's tavern and were tried in court by horsemen. These events led to the Negro Plot Trials. New York slaves' population was second in the colonies, behind South Carolina, who had many slave uprisings. In 1739, South Carolina's slaves revolted, and the New Yorkers feared that this would happen to them too. All started back at Fort George one day on March 17th. The governor's house set ablaze, and the fire quickly spread to the church. Some people thought it was arson, and they feared of a slave revolt. Something like the New York Slave Revolt of 1712, which took the lives of 30 people. The next few weeks, many fires were started across the city. From March 17th to April 6th, there were a total of 13 fires. On April 6th, a series of 4 fires started, and a slave named Coffee was seen running away. As a result, the authorities blamed many slaves and lower-class whites. Within a few days, 100 slaves were accused, because many of them were in Houston's tavern when it was all planned. They were all tried in court and convicted of the plots. These trials were run by Judge Horseman, who disliked the suspects, so he convicted almost all. Whether or not this conspiracy is true is argued by historians today. And here are the causes for the conspiracy. Before the conspiracy, Spain and Britain weren't friends because they had religious differences. It all started in 1739 with the War of Jenkins' Ear, when Spanish coast guards severed his ear. Hey, I'm British. Spanish and Catholics are bad. I vowed under the Test Act. Catholic priests in New York will be jailed. Talking to you about a Catholic authority. I know you want to practice your religion freely, but ever since Jenkins' Ear, that won't last. We had to switch it up. Take away your authority. These are the rules. Don't be a fool. Listen to what I say, because this is my place. How can we not talk about the low-class jobs which were so hard to find? Everyone competed for jobs because of new immigrants, and many of them were left out of work. It's been a long day without any food, and it happens to be the harshest winter ever recorded. I've come a long way from Spain. I was looking for new opportunities in New York. Oh, in New York. First, the slave owners go out of their way to teach the slaves how to do artisan work, and then they get paid less money than the poor white workers, so the jobs of the white workers are probably lost. This competition for jobs was extremely bad because people were paid little and others were paid nothing, and as a result, some people could not survive the winter. How can we not talk about trading stolen items in Houston's tavern? Everything that was stolen was brought to the attention of horsemen, and these items were stolen because they didn't have money.
Ain't no way I'm gonna let them get away with all of this. Hello, Mary Burton, would you like to tell me what happened with all the stolen items at Houston's Tavern? If you tell me, I'll give you a lot of money and your freedom, but if not, you will be imprisoned. Also, what has happened with all these fires? Alright, Judge Horowitz, I will tell you. They stole the items and traded them there, only because many of them don't have money. I was at the tavern and I overheard them talking. They said the fires are a conspiracy between some black slaves and poor whites to burn down the whole town of New York. And the people involved were Kofi and Krakow. Actually, there were many more people involved. Here's the total list of all the culprits at the climax of the Negro Plot Trials. Half of New York's male slaves over the age of 16 were claimed to be involved with the plot, and they were all sent to jail.
End of all the trials, 181 have been arrested, 34 killed, and 77 deported.